The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete. He's crazy.
As I said, Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eckman.
Determination, skill, speed. These drivers will need all three to achieve victory, with only one goal: to be crowned the next Lionheart champion. 40 drivers and 28,000 horsepower racing to keep his memory alive. With so much on the line, they will push their cars to the limit. So buckle up. It's about to get wild.
He blows over and goes quite the ride on his lid. And they were side by side off of pit road. Here comes Jake Ray with the red top.
You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Thanks to the buoyancy of helium, we float above the Irish Hills looking down at Michigan International Speedway, which today plays host to the Lionheart IndyCar Series and its Michigan International 200, the halfway point of the 216 schedule. As always, the contest is presented by First Medical Equipment, and all the action from Pace Lap to Victory Donuts will be covered live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. This 15-minute streaming award-worthy pre-race show will count down to the green flag and the controlled chaos that is our field of DW12 Indy cars accelerating towards the first corner of this 200-mile event. So hook up the big screen to display the internet feed, pop open a bag of better-made potato chips, pour yourself a tall, cold glass of Werner's Ginger Ale, pull the lever on the Lazy Boy, and enjoy the 100 laps of simulated IndyCar action that will be streaming your way. From the Great Lakes State, it's Soup and Crackers. Bill Zahn and Sean Ambrose with you again for another GSRC broadcast. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Amjad Yaman, and at his disposal will be the visionary camera locations provided by Dougie Beard. There is little doubt among iRacers that the Lionheart Series is the premier private league for the Indy cars on the iRacing service. It always puts on an exciting show, and such was the case last time from Texas, where No Name Racing's Jake Wright, Brian Yasek, and James Motley Krahulis stretched the fuel during the final stint to sweep the podiums. And Sean, what better place for another exciting Lionheart broadcast than Michigan?
Ah, my wild Irish laddie. Yes, sir. We are here at Michigan International Speedway, Brooklyn, Michigan, this afternoon here on the iRacing server, this evening in your homes around the world. Maybe it's morning to you, but we are here at Michigan. And, baby, this is one fastest track in NASCAR. Little fact there, no restrictor plate here, and they qualify somewhere around 203, 204 miles an hour. Well, these Indy cars, they'll be doing about 230 plus tonight on this 18-degree bank to kind of a moderate banking, but wide and fast. 2 miles, Bill. One heck of a track. I've turned a lot of laps here with these guys over the past week, and boy, we got a fun one on tap tonight. But I'll tell you what, let's jump inside the GSRC DW12 with Brian Yazik and take a trip around.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. My name is Brian Yazik, and today I'll be taking you for a spin around the Michigan International Speedway. A big, wide-open, 2-mile oval that is sure to put on a great show for drivers and fans alike. Now for your qualifying time, you're going to run a run around the bottom of the track, but not the very, very bottom. The way that the track flattens out down here is not very conducive to a good lap time. So you're actually going to want to run about a seam above that, or exactly what will happen to me is what will happen to you. You'll push out to that fence. Going into turn 3, once again, try to find that bottom seam before the white line right here and just let the car roll all the way through the corner, really not having to lift at any point in this lap. Now, later on in the run, what you might see is guys start to come up the track a little bit as the tires and the fuel both burn off. So you're going to see them probably run the second groove and then right kind of back down into the bottom groove here, swinging it right back off of the corner, keeping the car right near the wall. But you actually might see guys down by the white line as well trying to defend the inside. Same for turns 3 and 4. Find that second groove. You're going to have to play with the throttle just a little bit, but it's going to give you a great shot of speed off of the corner, and it's going to let you draft up on whoever is in front of you to try to set up the pass to get into a winning situation. My name is Brian Yazek, and this was a spin around the Michigan International Speedway.
And there's a reported lap around Michigan from Brian Yazek. But to get an idea of what the track conditions are like right now at this very moment, let's see if Sean can get on the radio there with George Anzaldo in the number 6 AGR Motorsports Lionheart DW12.
George, my friend.
How you doing, Sean?
I'm doing great, buddy. I know you've turned a lot of laps here over the past week. What's it feel like tonight? We've got everybody here, full house. How you feeling?
Well, I feel pretty good. The track feels good. Obviously, guys have been putting in some time. I think it's going to be close racing. The only thing is, guys are definitely going to have to watch out when the tires start to wear. That bottom groove is going to get pretty tricky. I don't know. It's going to take some courage to go down there and try to make passes late in the run.
George, it's been a great season so far. Halfway point. You got to be pretty happy with the way things have unfolded so far this season.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy. It's been a great season so far. We've got a really good championship hunt. We're looking forward to our upcoming Indy 500, which will be our next race. I think the season's been going really good so far. I'm definitely happy with how it's going.
All right, I know you're about to get in the car and qualify. Race focus now. How do you feel about your chances this evening?
I feel pretty good. Michigan's a track that I feel pretty comfortable at. I've been practicing my line. I feel I'll be pretty good late in the run. So I think I might be able to make up some spots. Qualifying isn't always my best suit, but I think over the long stint, I think I should be able to make up some spots.
George, stay hungry. You'll get it, my friend.
All right, thanks, Sean.
All right, buddy. Hopefully we get to talk to you again here soon. All right, that was George Anzaldo, and that interview with him was brought to you by our good friend Lee at SimNation. SimNation, the latest and greatest media reviews and content for all your simulators, all in one place, Bill.
George Anzaldo, of course, not only races in the series, but plays a vital role in organizing it. So far, George has an 8th place finish twice at Milwaukee and then again at Phoenix. So we'll see if he can better that today. See if he can maybe break into the top 5. And let's go ahead and talk about some of the other drivers. Let's bring up the driver points right now. Looking at those driver points, the top 5 drivers all held station. But on the heel of Wright's 4th place win, his lead increased to a whopping 132 points. Now, over the last 4 races, Jonathan Real Thing Goke has averaged a 16th place finish. Now, that slump has moved James Krahula within 2 points of Goke for 2nd place. Joe Branch and Dan Guerin round out the top 5. Brian Yazek's late arrival to the series makes drivers ahead of him easy pickings here as Yazek climbs up 6 spots in the standing today for our big mover up. And then, of course, Anthony Lookout Lurkoff has everyone yelling his nickname as Tony drops 5 spots down into 23rd. When we take a look at the team championships, any hope of no-name racing being vulnerable were short-lived with the podium sweep at Texas. Now, the big news was Dragonfly Racing. Chris Lanini, Robert Bluen, and Ed Tutwiler combined for 64 points. That was enough for Dragonfly to finish 3rd for the day and push Blue Bayou Racing out of the top 5. But Blue Bayou swears to come back one day, come what may. So look for them to be back in the top 5. Now we've taken care of the drivers and the teams. Sean, let's go ahead and look at that all-important Manufacturers Championship.
Yes, sir. Let's look at it. And Toyota still sits at the top. 1,078 points. Chevrolet gaining just a little bit there. They're getting close. Honda hanging in there, just 300 points back. Mazda up down to fourth, but that was Honda going up to third. Ford sitting there solid in fifth right now, but man, they're getting a charge from Dodge. Good competition for fifth and sixth. Subaru in seventh. Lexus in eighth. Yugo hanging on in ninth. Coming on strong, actually tied with Lexus for eighth. And then you've got Audi down there in 10th. They really need to get it going. Not too far off the pace from Yugo and Lexus, though. They've got a chance, Bill.
Absolutely. And now let's go ahead. We don't have a graphic today. We're going to let our director show some of the pretty cars. But Sean, why don't you take a second and talk about some of the race specifics that are going on for this event?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we've got tonight, we've got 200 miles, 100 beautiful laps around this track this evening. 2-lap qualifying. Okay, now they have an adjusted fixed setup. Everybody's running the same setup. You're gonna theoretically get the same amount of mileage, so they'll do that with 75% fuel. I think it's about 13.85 gallons. Look for about 3 stops tonight with no fast repairs. You damage this car and well, if you want to enjoy the side-by-side racing, you better do it safely, because you damage the car, you're not going to get any help in the pits. It'll be a long pit stop. Incident limit, 12X. That means contact, racks up those X's for first-time viewers this evening here. Those X's, once they rack up 12, you're out of the race, disqualified. You also get a hit in the points, minus 5 points in your championship points, and if you get 8 of those, you'll get 3 points deducted. But restarts this evening. They will start this race double file. All the restarts will be single file. We've got a deep, deep field tonight, Bill. And when they go single file, we're talking about cars coming across the start-finish line and literally cars still getting into turn 3. So they'll spread out quick. Now the weather this evening, or this afternoon here on track, beautiful day, 87 degrees, partly cloudy, 75 degrees, ambient temperature, 87 on the track. It's going to be a great day for some racing, lots of horsepower. These cars are awful fast, Bill. It's going to be a very, very, there'll be a lot of slicing and dicing, a lot of leapfrog action going on this evening. We'll talk about that here in a minute.
And let's talk about the adjusted fixed setup that they use here in Lionheart. And I'm a big fan of this. I think it makes the racing great. When the series organizers, they don't go with iRacing's baseline setup. The series organizers get together, and we talked about it last week, and all the drivers get involved, and they come up with a setup that is fast, but raceable, and it makes for good racing, rather than having drivers, when everyone's in charge of their own setup, they can really put it on the edge there, and while it might be fast, it may be not very raceable. So the fixed adjusted setup gives us some good racing here today. But Sean, there's a couple things. One thing that George talked about was that bottom line going away as the tires get old.
Well, Bill, I had an opportunity. I had some time over the past week to spend out here with these guys, and I actually got some time during the setup development. It's amazing to see how the little tweaks and changes they make, and maybe just a little bit of downforce, or maybe even an adjustment in the weather that makes such a difference in the handling of this machine. Tonight, what you're going to see is as these cars get lighter on fuel, somewhere around in between 8 and 6 gallons, if you've enjoyed your evening running down on that bottom line, you better start thinking about moving up to the top, because it gets pretty wicked down there, and one false move, one little wiggle of the rear end of that car coming through a turn on that bottom line at full bore is not going to end up well. It could end your race. Got 100 laps tonight. It is a long race, 200 miles. It's going to be very, very close, very fast, Bill.
Well, with that lower line going away, then, would you say it's going to be harder to make moves to pick up positions later on through a stint than it will be when your tires are fresh and the fuel is heavy?
Well, Bill, I think I alluded to the leapfrog before. The leapfrog, what I mean when I say the leapfrog, okay, you're going to see packs of cars, guys literally every lap trading positions, trying to gain a little bit of draft and slipstream around the other guy to just gain a little extra time on track to catch that next pack in front of you. And then when you do, it's a battle with that pack to start leapfrogging your way to the front. It's who can do that with precision tonight that will survive this race for sure.
Okay, it looks like the qualifying is all done now as we count up all the drivers that are here. It looks like we have a really big field, 40 names in the practice, 32 put-in qualifying times. Let's bring those up now, and we'll work through it on this pace lap. We'll take it a row at a time here, Sean. On the front row, look at our pole sitter today. It's Dan Guerin, and then, Sean, it's Jake Wright, your points leader, outside of row 1.
And I've got Big Joe Hassard, the Big Joe Show, sitting in third. Brandon Limkeman, fourth. Great qualifying effort for Brandon.
Ian Adams has always been fast and late. And then, of course, there's Joe Wrongway Flanagan. He's starting 6th. Let's see if he can get a top 5 when it's all said and done.
All right, 7th going to go to Jason Robarge. And then Jason Galvin out there in 8th. Great quality for him.
The 5th row made up of Jack Bogan and Dylan Pesky Lee.
All right, and after Jack Bogan and Pesky Lee, we've got George Anzalo with a nice quality. And Christian Steele starting in 12th.
Jonathan Real Thing Goke has been in a real slump lately, looking to get in a good race today. Dave Barber outside of row 7.
All right, Trevor Bissett going to start 15th. Pierre Degley starts 16th.
Kenneth the Real McCoy on the inside of row 9. Then starting in the 18th spot is Joe Branch.
All right, and I get Racing Kangaroo Gray, Michael Gray starting 19th. Christopher 20th, rounding out the 10th row.
Kangaroos are gray, so that makes sense. Looking at row 11, it's Ron Hacker and Matthew Mercer.
All right, and then we've got Bob Mikas in 23rd. Peter Edwins starts 24th.
One of our favorites, Ed Tutwiler, starting in the 25th position. And then on the outside row of row 13, it's going to be Ryan Otis.
All right, we'll go to row 14, and Alfred Shepard starting 27th tonight. Outside of him, Brian Yazik, 28th.
Keep an eye on Yazik back there. He'll be cutting his way through. And, of course, Alfred Shepard, he's the driver that is doing the Yugo. Vincent Bluthenthal on the inside of row 15, and Chris Gutierrez in the 30th spot.
And then we get down to 31st, Tony Lurcock. In the number 12, Dean Helt will start at the outside of him in 32nd. That's the last car to take qualifying time, Bill.
Then another hard charger, James Krahula, Tony Showen, Ron Henry back there, Robert Bluen, Patrick Taylor, Brian Neff, and Robert Obrutta round out the final 40. Most of those drivers that I named did not post a time.
All right, let's get our onboard cameras in here real quick. Let's go to Pete Edwins in a Dirty Blinds onboard camera. We'll be riding with him tonight, getting some great shots here from our director. Here's Pete there, the number 16, the DirtyBlinds.com machine. He's looking for a good result tonight, starting 8th. And we got Big Joe Hassard back with the Big Joe Show. The Big Joe Show on board with the Big Joe Show tonight. In the Arctic Cat number 44, he's starting 30. Well, it says 36, but he's sitting up front, so not sure what's going on there. Anyway, okay. Then we've got Pierre Degley. He's riding. We got Sim Nation riding on board with him tonight. That's Pierre there, and the number 14, the Sim Nation onboard camera. Lots of excitement here, getting ready to crank it off here, Bill. Let's do it.
Here we go. Pace car about to pull in 100 laps on this 2-mile oval. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn, and Dan Guerin leads the stampede down into the first corner. They're side by side behind him for second place. Let's see if they can get that sorted out. On the high side is Jake Wright. Big Joe Hassard on the inside takes second. Ian Adams is going to get third. Wright stuck on the high side now as Brandon Lincoln going to make a move into fourth.
Boy, you got to be smart here. Cars scattered all the way down the backstretch. The back of the field just now entering 4, Bill.
Ian Adams works his way around Big Joe Hassard, going to second place as they cross the start-finish line for the first lap. Hassard now trying to make the high side work on the outside of Adams. Limpkeman back there in fourth as the first 4 drivers trying to pull away. Robarge into 5th, Galvin into 6th. Look at Jake Wright falling back into 7th place.
Bill, so much great racing going back here. We got a battle for first.
Ian Adams has got around Dan Guerin, and Adams takes the lead, and he's going to lead across the start-finish line to finish lap 2. But Guerin says not so fast as Guerin makes the move on the inside, pushing Adams back to second. Hassard in third. Now behind him it's side by side. And again, look at that inside line work early, Sean. Limpkeman gets inside a Galvin. Looks like maybe Jonathan Vogt involved. Jonathan Vogt and the yellow car. Oh, a lot of people involved. Dylan Pesky Lee involved. The car up into the fence. It's the blue machine of Matthew Mercer. Oh, he took a ride.
A lot of guys involved in that. Oh, was that Ian? I think that was Ian Adams right there, wasn't it?
I think it started with the yellow car of Dylan Lee getting into the wall.
Dylan Lee, yeah, that was Dylan Lee there in the Simnation machine. That's right.
Came down into Goke, and then all heck broke loose after that. Mercer involved in it. George Anzaldo involved in it as well.
Yeah, really looks like there might have been a little contact with Dylan, and he came off the wall, bounced off the wall, and just everybody behind him gets Ed Tutwiler got caught up in that, and oh geez, that was just a mess. Really, so many cars. Poor Matthew Mercer. That car destroyed also. He was an innocent bystander, just had nowhere to go. But really, I got to estimate there were probably a good half a dozen cars involved in that at least.
Stouffer got put up into the wall. He had nowhere to go as he got into Joe Branch, who took a hard hit. Anzaldo, Stouffer, Mercer, Branch, Lee, Goke. Doing our best to name all the drivers involved in that incident. There were many. Ed Tutwiler as well. Here comes Branch in to make a stop.
Boy, I had such high hopes for George tonight, and that is really a tough break. That's a tough way to get this race started. You know, honestly, Bill, we got off to a great start. There was really nothing wrong with the way that race started. It was just a little bit of side-by-side contact, and that was all it took to just to really just send everybody into scramble mode here real quick on the third lap of the race.
Here are the drivers that look like they got the worst of the damage, that they're still sitting in pit lane, and that's Anzaldo and sitting in there in 30. So Branch is in there, Stouffer is in there, Mercer is in there. Now coming in is Pesky Lee, Dylan Pesky Lee. He says since we said he was pesky, he says his girlfriend is now calling him pesky, so give a shout out to her. Right now, Dylan's car is smoking.
Yeah, I think they rolled out the barbecue pit, and they're going to let that thing roast for just a little bit. Maybe get back out on track for points. But any real chances at a win here tonight to look to have escaped him. And again, what a tough break for our buddy George Anzaldo. Looks like he suffered the same fate, and it's going to be a long time before that car gets back out.
Put a brisket in the back there of Dylan Lee's car there for 4th of July, right, Sean? You smoke one up? Smoke up a brisket this 4th of July, did you?
I did not this 4th of July, but you know what? Here's the beauty of it. We still have one great smoking holiday coming up here in September, and brother, I will have the smoker out, and we're going to do ribs and brisket.
Well, I'll tell you who's smoking right now, and that's Dan Guerin out in front. Ian Adams is in second place. None of these guys have decided to pit here as they're only 5 laps into it. Big Joe Hassard in third. Jason Robarge in fourth.
Yeah, we've got some guys at the back of the field who decided to come in, take fresh tires, top off. Ron Henry, Brian Neff. Those two are probably going to take it easy, sit back, and just bide their time.
Let's put the camera on the driver currently in, I believe it's running in 22nd spot, Robert O'Brutta. Maybe running in, not sure where, I guess 26th right now.
I've got him in 25th right now, actually.
I'm showing him as our hard charger. He started in 40th, so he's up, looks like 14 or 15 positions, so give him a nice shout out. And looking to see as the pace car still lights are on. Lights are off. The pace car has pulled in. So, as Dan Guerin leads them across the start-finish line, he's going to be working on lap 7 of 100. They single file start. Guerin, Adams, Hassard, Robarge, and Limpkeman. Galvin, and then, of course, Jake Wright still taking his time back there in 7th position.
Boy, and I talked about how much they would spread out in the beginning of the race. The leader is going into turn 4. The back of the pack has just come out of turn 2, Bill.
Yeah, they are really strung out with that single file restart. As we have Jason Galvin now making a move up into 5th place. He's getting around. Where are we there, Jason? I lost you. Jason gets around Limkeman.
Tony Lurcock dove into the pit for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but he dove in unexpectedly. He's in his pit stall now.
It's a 4-car breakaway out in front. Big Joe Hassard has taken over the lead in front of Ian Adams. They come across side by side. Cialis bathtubs across the start-finish line. Hassard on the inside, going to make that inside line work. Adams stuck on the high side, going to fall back to 3rd. There's that rainbow machine of Robarge who gets a great run. Boy, he had a run in there. He's just going to gobble up Hassard.
Bill, we got to focus on a wild pack of DW12s. Ed Tutwiler leading the way in a number 9. Coming down below him, though, he's getting a battle.
My goodness.
Who is that? Is that Brian Otis in number 95 getting below Tutwiler there and just ahead of him? That was Dean Helt making the big move.
Right.
Otis now making the move to the inside. They get real close, almost wheel to wheel, coming through the turn. Oh, that was close. Ed
Helt
Tutwiler
fighting back on the outside.
Ride.
Look at the drive that Yasik is getting on the inside now. It's a pinata full of bees back there from 16th position. Otis, Held, Yasik, Tutwiler, Blumenthal in there, Krahula, Hacker, they're all there, Edwin. Oh my, and then look at the back, watching the whole thing is the Racing Kangaroo of Michael Gray.
Boy, I got to tell you, Helt was right up under the wing of Ryan Otis, almost trying to push him down the straightaway. I don't know if that's going to fly. I don't think he'll survive long with that, but Otis with enough power to break away and now get a run ahead of him. Otis working on Bob Mikus now, getting ready to take away that spot. Otis going to the top side, dips to the inside.
Oh my.
Woo, what a move by Ryan Otis.
Did the little hucklebuck on him there. Faked high, went low, and Mikus gets right around him. Otis gets right around. I'm not sure if Mikus was actually doing much defending there. He's just keeping a straight line. Otis made it more exciting than it needed to do, but here comes Mikus back. Boy, look at the toe that they get, Sean, when they get it lined up right.
And here's Helt making another charge down inside of that group. You see Otis make the charge, but this is that leapfrog effect that I talked about, Bill. You're going to see him swapping positions all race long, just like this, trying to get to that pack in front of him. Helt almost makes contact with Mikus. Man, that was close.
There is leapfrogging going on all through the field. It would be impossible for us to tell every pass that's being made. In fact, the pass for the lead has been going on back and forth. Just to update you, right now the leader is Adams, but that'll change by the time I finish this sentence. Robarge in 2nd, Big Joe Hassard in 3rd, and Dan Guerin in 4th. Dan Guerin came over the radio, said, "Don't worry about me, boys." So I guess he's just happy to sit back there in 4th position right now. Meanwhile, here comes Robarge again in that rainbow machine, takes a pass for the lead as we ride on board with Big Joe Hassard.
Okay, so we were talking about that battle back up there with Dean Helt and Ryan Otis. Now, just behind them, we've got James Krahula leading another pack. Eddie Tutwiler's now back in that battle. But we've got Vincent Blumenthal, Jonathan Goat. The real thing is in that battle. Tutwiler making a move to the inside of Krahula now. Again, Bill, you talk about all these battles coming on. This is the next group here trying to catch the battle in front of him for the top 15.
Yeah, and I'm going to steal it away from you there, Sean, because I got another good one up here as well. Let's go to 5th position. It's Brandon Limkeman, and he's in a battle. Dave Barber on the low side, Jason Galvin on the high side. That's a battle for 6th position. Look at the whole thing, Tony Lurkoff. Then on the high side is Jake Wright. Then that yellow machine on the bottom making a move down there. You know who that is? It's Joe Flanagan. Oh boy, Flanagan almost gets up into Trevor Bissett. They managed to keep it going straight. Sean, there is action everywhere.
Yeah, there is, Bill. Action everywhere. I'm down the back stretch right there, getting to 4. There are literally about, I'd say about 15 cars right here, all stacked up, battling for the top 20 right now. Anybody can have it. You've just got to leapfrog that guy in front of you and then get to the next group and hope you can leapfrog one of those guys.
Just to set the stage here, there's a 4-car battle up in front. Then there's about 1 second back to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-car battle. They're in a group. Then we go back to what Sean was talking about. Oh, there's 2 all by themselves, Kenneth McCoy and Pierre Nightingale. Then we get back to this mess that Sean was talking about with Bob Mikas and Otis. It's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look like 12 cars in this fight. It's something else.
And Yazik has fallen all the way back to 19th. I mean, he was up there battling for the top 15. He's somehow managed to get back to 19th now, and he's in a battle back there with another group of cars. There goes the Racing Kangaroo just under Yazik there. And again, that pack is now starting to close on the other one in front of him. I don't want to call it pack racing, but, well, that's kind of what we're seeing right now, and it's awful fun, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm back here watching with you. I think the group that you were watching is the most exciting. And right now we're going to ride on board with Edwins. He's running in 26th position.
That's the DirtyBlinds.com onboard camera. Pete willing it right now. He's doing everything he can to stay with this group.
He is the caboose in this train, if you could call it a train. I disapprove of the name of that company, Dirty Blinds. I think it gives the wrong idea. You want clean blinds is what you want to call that. Well, Dirty Blinds I got.
Ed and his boys clean them right up for you, Bill. That's a great little company there that Ed's got, and they do a great job cleaning those blinds up. But yes, the connotation might get lost in the translation.
Look at that battle is now. We saw Edwins gets around the car of Ron Hacker.
Dylan Lee bringing his car back in the pit. Dylan caught up in that early battle, that early caution flag. Car's just a little beat up. It's probably just a handful to try and keep pace. He's going to probably try and get a little bit more damage repair on that if he can.
And then there still are 33 cars left on the lead lap. We don't need to go there, but I'll just call out their names. Alfred Shepard is back there, Brian Neff, Ron Henry, Tony Showen. These guys are all on the lead lap. Patrick Taylor, Robert Bluen, and then look at this, the very back. Christian Valerian Steele running in 33rd right now, the last car on the lead lap.
I jump back up front here real quick, and Dan Guerin was getting a run there. Dan was getting a run on Big Joe. Good little battle they're having. Joe able to stay in front. The top 4 really have started to separate from the cars behind them. But I'll tell you what, again, as the fuel load starts to lighten up on these cars, they start to handle a lot different. The draft, the leapfrogging might slow down just a bit. So we'll see. Might just get down to some hardcore drafting. You might be able to catch that pack in front of you.
See, as we focus on the lead pack now, the difference between what's going on with these 4 leaders out in front, this is almost like a square dance that these guys are doing. It's not the battling that we saw back in that pinata full of bees back there for 15th position. These guys are doing it without slowing down the car on the outside. So what happens is the car making the pass gets that great run, but the car that is being passed doesn't lose any speed at all, and they're doing it 2 or 3 times a lap. Here you see it right now as Adams goes around, and then Robarge comes right back and gets him on the back straight. They're doing that dance. They're just making up 2 or 3 car lengths every time they make that pass.
Bill, we got to go to a battle here for 14th place. Jonathan Goke just got into the picture, took the position away from Brian Otis. Otis making a move back to the inside. Oh, just behind him. Right just behind him. Cars all over the place. Oh, that was Vincent Blumenthal and Dean Held. Ed Tutwiler gets caught up in that. Robert O'Brother.
Krahula is in it as well.
Oh, geez. Just as we go to that battle, a volcano behind him erupts.
Tutwiler in it.
They tried to go 3 wide right there, Bill, and it just didn't work out. We'll go on board with Brian Neff. The Winn-Dixie 60. DW at 12. Let's catch that in the replay. I'm sorry, not...
I think it was Old Brutta that may have started it unless guys were checking up. Looks like Old Brutta got into the back of Jasek.
Look at Neff have to navigate his way through this here.
Oh no, but then there was stuff going on. See, Jasek was checking up. It was happening in front. It looks like Held was in it. You're right. It was the 3-car battle up in front of Micus, Held, and Bluthenthal, I think.
Yeah, so
we're looking for it. I believe
it
was Bluthenthal that got into it, that started the whole thing.
This really works out for the leaders, Bill. I mean, we're 26 laps in. They didn't go in for a pit.
But those were some awfully big hits there, Sean. Attrition playing a big factor now. You start to go back and you think about those guys that I mentioned that were way in the back. Valerian Steele and all those guys that we mentioned back there. Shepard was back there. Neff, although Neff kind of got caught up in that.
Yeah, I'm surveying some of the guys that are back there. Vincent Bluthenthal, his car is a wreck, unfortunately. James Krahula, looks like maybe we can get some... no, James has decided to go ahead and bow out. That damage must have been too significant there on the car to continue. Robert O'Brother sitting down there with pretty heavy damage, but everybody coming in around him, Bill, it's time to fill up and get 4 fresh Firestones as they race off pit lane. It looks like Ian Adams wins the battle.
Want to give a tip of the hat to Ron Henry, who was back there, who got the car way woed up, kind of weaved his way through a bunch of smoldering rubble and didn't touch anybody. Nice job from Ron Henry, currently running in 21st. But as Sean reported, Adams is first out.
Yeah, Adams wins the battle off of pit lane. Big Joe Hassert comes out right with him. It was a drag race between Adams, Hassert, and Guerin coming off of pit lane, and Adams gets out first just across in front of Hassert.
Now here goes a couple cars getting the wave around. That's Peter Edwins and Christian Steele getting the wave around. Let's see if they're going to come in and pit this time. Bluthenthal coming in. So let's go ahead and set the stage. Behind the pace car, the lights are still on. It's Adams, Robarge, these guys that we've seen up front the whole time. Big Joe Hassert.
Bill, time for a little bit of history. This is only one of 6 tracks that have been here for all 4 seasons of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. The others are Auto Club, which is a track very similar to this one, Iowa, Pocono, Indianapolis, and Homestead.
I would have guessed Indianapolis. I would have had that one.
The Iowa one, that's the fun one, baby. That's the one you want to win.
All right, viewers, let's put the pressure on Sean. Are there any past winners in the race here today, Sean?
Well, actually there is. Jonathan Goke is the defending winner of this race. Yes, he's also led the most laps at this track among the active drivers with 42, but Big Joe Hassert back there with 36, and Hassert a lot closer to the front right now as we get restarted in this race. Goke still sitting back there in 12th place. Made up a lot of spots, though. He's moving through the field, but Big Joe going to start up front here, and if he can get around Guerin, if all he's got to do is play with the clean air, he's in good shape.
Gonna send Sean on. Do you want to be a millionaire? Nice going there. Didn't have to phone a friend for that one, man.
No, I'm going to thank my friends Patrick Taylor and Pierre Deglay over at Lionheart for just feeding us really good info.
Pace car is in. Ian Adams leads them as he finishes lap 28, works lap 29 right now. Adams, Hassert, Guerin, these are the guys we've seen up front the whole time. And Robarge. Guerin now making a move up into second place. For what that's worth, Robarge very slow. Oh my goodness, he almost got up into Trevor Bissett. Bissett up into 4th. How do they look back there, Sean? Are they behaving or are they doubling up again?
No, they're behaving right now on the start, but again, really spread out the back of the field. Just now coming into turn 4 and making their way off. So that gives you a pretty good idea where we are nose to tail of this line of angry DW12s. Dean Helt just going across the line. Dean's worked his way back to 21st, so a lot of work for him to get back up front and get back in the mix for a chance to win this evening.
So very much like pack racing, the problem is I don't understand how it would be possible for you to make your way up, because just as easy to pass somebody, it's just as easy to be passed.
An update on Brian Neff. Neff was able to get that car repaired in the pit. Looks pretty good. He's back up to speed. Still on the lead lap. Working with his old buddy Ron Henry there. Those two in it for the long haul.
Brian Neff right now is our hard charger. He is up 14 positions from the start, along with Chris Gutierrez, who we haven't heard much about. He's also 14 positions up. Chris right now running in 15th position.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of guys following him. We got Michael Gray, Jack Bogan, Brian Yazik, Ron Hacker, all in that battle right there. Ed Tutwiler. 6 cars going at it.
He's up 15 positions from the start, but it could easily be, as we see the car diving underneath. My goodness, he came flipping him.
Michael Gray just almost took the nose off of Jack Bogan. Talk about shutting the door. Woo, man, that was close. Yazik back there with a front seat to the show. Oh, Yazik so close up to the wall there. You will get a little bit of wash, a little bit of push out of it if you get really high up. Oh, Bogan with a little bit of contact on the wall there.
Yazik is the car sitting in 4th right now of the cars you see in the battle. Kind of that blue car with a little bit of yellow trim, yellow or green trim, whatever that is. 4th in line right now. He's got Bogan ahead of him. Now Yazik goes to the inside, sees he's going to make that work. And he might, because there goes the racing kangaroo of Michael Gray on the inside. He takes over 15th. Gutierrez drops to 16th now. Sean, it's just so hard to make up any ground.
Yeah, it is.
I almost think you almost got to start to do something sneaky as far as pit strategy to try to get up front.
Well, we're going to go on board with the SimNation onboard camera of Pierre Degley. At some point, you got to sacrifice a few laps, a few really hard laps there on the bottom, and stick with that run down there. But it does come at a cost, and certainly now early in the run is a good place to go for it. But you've got to take a break at some point and run up the track a little bit and save those tires, because as I talked about earlier, you won't survive down on the bottom for the whole fuel run. I will tell you from experience, it's not possible. So this set won't allow you to do that. But right now, this battle we're seeing here back of the field is really it's great, and they're starting to catch the pack in front of them now, just a little bit at a time. Again, that leapfrog effect is working, but just behind them is another pack being led by Dean Helt and Brian Neff now up into that mix. He has made his way around Tony Showen and Alfred Shepard, and now he's working on Helt. So Neff making his way back up through the field.
Just to give you a big picture, a big overview of it, if you were in the stands, you could see that there's a 3-car battle up in front. Adams, Guerin, and Joe Hassard have pulled away. Then there's a 6-car battle behind them, a group of 6, then another group of 3, little sections, little groups. Then we get back to that big one back there in 16th position where all the excitement is that Sean's been watching. Gray, Bogan, Yazik, Hacker, Tutwiler. And then there's even another one behind them, isn't it? The one with Held, yeah. Little packs of cars.
Michael Gray just pulled out a big move on Chris Gutierrez, and Brian Yazik trying to take advantage and come and tow with him. It didn't quite work out. Gutierrez shuts the door on Yazik. Gutierrez looking to the inside of Yazik. Into the inside of Gray, and he's going to take that position away. Working down there on the inside. Ron Hacker still in the fight. 19th place. He's working down on the bottom right now.
I'm going to steal the camera away for a minute. Let's go to 5th position. I think there was a crash, unless it was just my sim. Sorry, I think it was just a flaw there. I had a little bit of blimp.
Well, it's Dave Barber working over Trenton Bissett right now up there for that battle for 5th place.
Every once in a while, the sim does something scary, yeah.
He made a move on Goat to the inside. Goat gets up there by himself. Oh, and he gets the nose off of Goat. Bissett moves up in front of Goat. Woo, that was close, almost contact. Dave able to keep it down on the inside. Coming out. Good space between him and Goat. There's
Sean.
Jason Robarge, he's in the mix. Oh, looking to make it 3 wide. No, I'll think better of that.
Oh boy, and he's close there as Barber just gets up in front of Goat. Goat gives him just enough room. I brought us here for a reason. My spidey senses were tingling. I just didn't like the way these guys were racing. That's Bissett out in front. Barber on the high side. Goat down there running the middle line of the rainbow car of Robarge in 7th. Maybe they're going to settle down now a little bit. I think they're settling down. Whew.
That's all right. I'm still finding battles throughout this field.
Oh, it's impossible not to.
Well, Gutierrez and oh man, these guys are going at it right now. Gutierrez and Michael Gray and Ron Hacker are just having one whale of a battle right now. They were 3 wide just a moment ago. They keep mixing it up. Brian Yazik is still in that mix. Ed Tutwiler and then Jack Bogan right there back there with him. This has been a great battle. Oh, coming back up onto the track is Pierre Degley. Was he coming? No, he wasn't coming back on track. Apparently, he got loose or something.
Oh, he got up in the wall, I think.
We're going to catch the replay here real quick. We caught it.
I think he might have got into Ryan Otis a little bit, huh? Yes, sir.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of got loose coming out of 2. Oh, looking at it on my replay, he caught just a little bit of the yellow line. I probably gave him a little bit of rattle in the wheel, and he had to collect it. Got the car loose, but did a great job of saving it down there on the bottom. Everybody gets by. That battle we were watching and the battle behind him that got by, Helt and Brian Neff, and everybody came along. So Pierre going to have a lot of work to do to get back up into the mix, but he didn't wreck the car, and that's the best thing you can ask for right now.
Sean, I think the most excitement is back in this battle from 14th, led by Michael Gray right now. Hacker, Gutierrez involved. I just don't like what I'm seeing here. Tutwiler in that mix, Yazik on the high side, Held on the low side. They're doing a good job of staying off each other.
Okay, I picked up another interesting battle here. Jason Galvin making a move. Galvin's running strong. He's sitting there in 10th. Just takes away the position from wrong way Flanagan there. But Flanagan heading in the right direction this evening. Looking good. And Ryan Otis, a big mover. He is, makes a nice move to the inside, just off the Galvin's deck there. I like that Valvoline paint scheme there Ryan Otis is running. That's a classic.
Meanwhile, we don't have to go there, but the 3 cars up in front are doing their square dance. Right now, it's Garen Adams.
We got a caution flag. What
Ron
happened
Henry?
Here? Oh, it was Ron Henry. Oh, man. He hit it hard, too. Went for a wild ride.
Looks like he just got loose on his own right in front of Tony Schowen.
Yeah, and the rear end started to step out on him just a bit. The car snapped back around across the track. Nothing he could do. And then it went into that spiral and really hit hard. That's probably going to end his night. That's a lot of damage on that car. I had to take a tow back to the pit because he ended up on his lid.
Edwin gets around him, Shepard gets around him, Christian Steele gets around him, and Robert Bluen. But that brings out the yellow on lap 47.
It does, and now, well, there is some strategy to think about at this point. Theoretically, you could do if you come in now, you could do this race on one more pit stop. I think, Bill.
One more. But I also think you might be able to stay out and do it on one more also, assuming there was another yellow. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't think our leaders are buying that.
Yeah.
They've all opted to come in.
But
everybody coming in.
if you're one of the guys at the back, boy, you sure are hoping to get some type of break here for some track position. Let's see if we can see some new names get up to the front.
Watch the battle off of pit lane. Darren Guerin going to lead him out, but a battle just behind him. Whoa, almost 4 cars wide coming off the pit lane. Now we've got a couple cars up here who have elected to stay out. That's Jack Bogan and Alfred Shepard up front now. I'm going to think you might see them come around. I don't know if they're going to be able to. They've only been in once. I don't know if they're going to push their fuel much further.
Well, Bogan is on a 21-lap stint, so in theory he could go another 15.
Yeah, he could gamble that another caution's going to come out.
If the early caution were to come, everyone would have to come in again, and that's how he could buy track. If I'm Jack Bogan, I'm not going to win the race from where I was. Let's stay out. If we get a caution in the next... boy, we need a caution in about lap 13 from now. My tank would just about be dry, and that would be able to get to the end with one stop. And Bogan's thinking that. Attaboy, Jack. Jack stays out. Stay out there, Jack.
Well, it looks like Alfred Shepard not going to ride that same strategy. He goes in, and Jack stays out. He's going to restart this race. Your leader. The lights are out on the pace car.
That's my type of guy. Jack qualified 9th, so he has legitimate pace. Running up front now. Now he's got the lap car of Tony Lurcock behind him. What will happen there, Sean? Will Tony be stuck in that position, or does he file back to the back? He's a lap down. We think he's going to be stuck there, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's going to restart the race in that position. That's right. Yeah, those guys are going to have to work around him. And, who knows? If he's got good pace, it could be an opportunity for him to get a lap back.
Look how Lurcock has to be kind of upset with Jack Bogan. If Bogan would have come in, Lurcock could have got his wave around. Now he's stuck there. That's a 2 mile penalty there for Lurcock. Okay, your leader, Jack Bogan. It's been 22 laps since his last stop, so we think he can go another 13. That would get him to about 36 to go, which is right at the spot. Maybe a little bit more because of yellows. I think he can go with one more stop, so we'll keep an eye on him. Look for him to pit with about 35 left. Pace car is in.
Oh, and boy, they're stacking up. The accordion is out. Oh man, they got stacked up in the middle of the field. A lot of guys had to check up there, Bill. But it looks like everybody made it through clean.
Okay, Bogan with a giant lead now. He's still got the lap car of Lurcock behind him. Guerin and Bissett. Bissett running in 3rd spot.
Boy, he doesn't want to battle with that lapped car, to be really honest with you. If he's got any chance here to stay in front, he needs something to happen behind him for this strategy to work out. It just might. We got a lot of cars racing. Michael Gray, Ryan Otis side by side, just in front of them. Jason Galvin, Joe Flanagan. Again, this is a great battle back here. Still battling for the top 10. Brandon Limpkeman holds that down up in front of him. They're coming for him, though. Watch out, Brandon. You got an angry pack coming, buddy.
Bogan still out in front, and right now he's battling with Lurcock, but maybe we've got to go to the lead here, as I think we're going to have a new lead. It's Guerin on the outside, Bassett, who we haven't heard much from, on the inside. Bassett in that Marines colored machine on the inside now, gets around Guerin, now looking to get around Lurcock, and he does, and we have a new leader. It's Bassett, sorry, that's Lurcock out in front, is the lap car. 3 wide, we better stay on this lead battle right now. Bassett out in front, whoa, getting really high as Bogan.
Yeah, Big Joe Hassard gets in the backup.
Oh, and they
Bogan's loose!
He gets a part of Eden Adams. Adams able to keep it off the inside wall. This might not go yellow. It stays green. A great job of driving from Ian Adams.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that was some save by Ian Adams. Look, incredible. We're going to pick it up on the replay. The number 3 target machine, the Mazda DW12. Ian Adams does a great job of saving this car. We're on board with him here. Gets that contact with Bogan. Oh, and now the caution comes out. Something else happening on track, Bill. Oh, it's Brian Neff. Oh, big trouble for Brian Neff.
On his lid, doing cartwheels, doing pinwheels.
Boy, and I got to tell you, he was racing side by side with Dean Helt. And I got to be honest with you, I think the dreaded net code might have got us going to the turn.
Yeah, boy, it looked like netcode twice. It looked like netcode maybe pushed the rear end out, and then the front end got him.
Yeah, Helt wasn't even close to him, Bill.
No.
I just caught it from another angle. He wasn't even close to him. Those cars were, I mean, in scale, were a good inch apart on my screen. So, yeah. Boy, what a tough break for Neff, man. He had worked his way back up. He's on his lid now. That's probably going to end the night for the Winn-Dixie 60. I know that's not the way the Butcher wanted to end this evening. Well, Bill, Trevor Bassett's going to be the leader. Lap 55.
I don't think you need to come in right here, and except for our friend who stayed out of Jack Bogan. I think Bogan would come in.
Yeah, he shuffled back to 10th.
Working on a 28 lap stint right now. So,
hey, Bill, did you know that the last 2 Michigan races have been won by drivers with the name Jay? You know, we've had that thing going all season.
And it goes back even on this track as well, huh?
It does. Yeah, we had the real thing, Jonathan Goke last season, Jesse Vincent in season 2.
Jesse, we always see Jesse's Vincent's name on the list here. He watches over this kind of as a race steward. Say hi to Jesse. A lot of history in this league.
A lot of history, a lot of wins too. Heck of a wheel man. It is a shame not to see him out here. I'm sure the drivers wouldn't agree with that. I know several of the guys out here lost a lot of races to him. So yeah, Jesse doing a great job up in race control for sure. Speaking of Jesse, you know, him and Jake Wright are currently tied for the most all-time top 5 finishes with 23. Vincent has 38 career starts in total, while Wright has 31.
I'm going to predict that Wright's going to hold that record before this season is over, unless Jesse comes out of retirement.
Yeah, well, that's always talked about. Jesse reserves the right to hop back in the seat anytime he wants. I think they call it a champion's provisional.
I like that. So it looks like Jack Bogan, for some reason, I was buying the first time you stayed out, Jack, but you're staying out again.
No, he's decided to come down to pit lane.
Did he come in finally?
Yeah,
okay.
I just picked up Jack, and he has decided to come down and get his service and get that machine fired up and ready to go for the next stint here.
Well, if I were in the back, I'd be coming in now and topping off. That would mean I would need less fuel later, and maybe I could jump when the pit stops do come. So I like, looks like Held has come in to make a pit stop, and Bogan is in. These guys pitting this cycle.
You know, honestly, I don't know if being a little heavy on fuel really hurts you. We talked several times about how the car gets a little wicked when it gets light on fuel down on the bottom, and I think towards the end of a run, especially, well, not the end of a run necessarily, but in the last 10 to 20 laps of this race, you probably wouldn't mind having a car that handled a little bit better down there on the bottom and had a little bit more fuel in the tank, Bill.
Yeah, well, these guys back at the back here that are on the lead lap have come in and topped off. So keep an eye on, remember these names: Patrick Taylor, Robert Bluen, Christian Valerian Steele, Dean Held. These guys have all come in. They're still on the lead lap, and Jack Bogan. In theory, they're going to need almost 10 laps less fuel than these guys who are out here right now. So we'll see how that goes. The pace car is in. And leading them down into the first corner, it's Trevor Bassett. Now there's the lap car of Tony Lurcock. Poor Tony was not able to get his lap back before that last yellow, although he was leading the pack for a while. Dan Guerin in second, Big Joe Hassard in third. One of the best runs Hassard's had in a long time. Jonathan Goke up to fourth. We saw him way back in the pack, doing much better now. Rounding out the top five, Jason Robarge in that rainbow-colored machine.
Well, Bill, we started with 36 cars. We still have 29 out here running. Not too shabby. And honestly, of the 29 that are out here running, 26 of them will still have a chance to win this race.
We look now at the leaders. Remember, that car out in front is a lap down. That's Lookout Lurcock out there. He's trying to stay out in front. It's important for him to be out in front when the yellow flag comes out. That way he can get his wave around. But what that's meaning, a lot of excitement going on behind him. That car right behind him is Jonathan Goke. He has managed to weave and wave his way, zig and zag his way up into the lead. Now trying to go on the outside of the Kool-Aid machine of Lurcock. They go side by side. Goke in the dark blue GoPro machine. Lurcock in that light blue Kool-Aid machine. Lurcock being very, very, very determined to keep that out in front of the leaders.
Ooh, Bill, we got a great battle back here. Michael Gray, Brian Yazik, Dave Barber, Joe Flanagan right in the middle of it all. They almost all make contact. All four of those cars at one point did. Yazik having a great run here. He had actually got up to the lead of this pack, and then they just got around him. Galvin, here comes Jason Galvin, looking to the inside. Just behind him, Brandon Limkeman, Dave Barber fighting. Hey, there's Ryan Otis, the number 95 Valvoline machine. He's still in this battle. That is a battle for the top 10, Bill.
There's the lead. We got to go up to the front here, because what you have is a couple of cars on different agendas. It really, right now, with 39 laps to go, it really doesn't matter who's out in front, although you wouldn't know that from looking at Joe Hassard right now and Dan Guerin. But the guy that's interesting is that light blue Kool-Aid machine of Lurcock. He is doing his best, and he gets into the back of the
Ooh! Limkeman gets into that. Oh, poor Brandon. Lurcock, his car destroyed. He's up in the air, bouncing all over the place. Try and catch it on the replay here and see what happened.
He got into Goke a little bit. Goke got loose, and then Goke got into Big Joe Hassard.
Yeah, and really it did look like Goke looked like Goke maybe lost a little bit of the air off the rear end of that machine. They were all really tight right there, and that little wiggle started it all and collected an awful lot of fast race cars. Big Joe Hassert in that also, again, minding his own business. Brandon Lemkeman coming through the field and had nowhere to go. That's how quickly that all unfolded. But again, we see three really fast cars taken out there, and Big Joe Hassert, Brandon Lemkeman, and Jonathan Goke.
Yeah, I could see it coming. I tried to address the point before it happened. What happened was Lurcock, who clearly had the pace, it's got to be frustrating for him. He clearly has the pace to run with the leaders, but he's a lap down, and he needs to desperately stay ahead of the leaders so when the yellow flag came out, he would get his lap back, and he's been trying to do that for the last several times. He wasn't able to get the wave around, and in his desperation, he got into the back of Goke, and then that, I believe, got Hassert and several other machines. But now, Sean, look at how many we have to go. 37 laps to go.
And speaking of desperation, let the fuel saving begin, because Dan Guerin and Trevor Bissett are riding on the apron on the pace lap. You're doing all kinds of things right here, Bill. You're clutching, you're turning the car off, you're coasting.
Well, they still have an opportunity to come in. I think they haven't made that stop yet. I think they'll be coming in at the last minute. The lights are still on, so I would think they would come in now. But one of the things we were talking about, who we were talking with, was it Brian, was it Jacek we were talking with before? We said, yeah, what we need is a yellow flag right about lap 38.
Yeah.
Where we come in and fill up with lap 37. He was saying that he can go 35. So here we are again. We saw the same thing last time. I imagine everybody's going to come in. Now look for some guys to have an advantage here, and it's those guys that we talked about earlier that have filled up. Guys like Flanagan may be out first. Otis, Tutwiler. They don't have as much. They have about, 15 less laps of fuel that they need to put in. And that said, nobody came in that time.
You know, I've got a dark horse right now. He's been awful quiet. We haven't talked about Knight and Degley much. He's sitting back there in 19th place. He's still in the lead lap. He's had to work awful hard to stay on it. But the car is straight, and I know he's awful fast here. So, I don't know, maybe Pierre makes a run at this thing before it's all said and done with, Bill, with 35 laps to go.
All right, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Apparently the leaders don't think you can go the distance from here because they all stayed out. They're going to make their stop a little bit later. Joe Flanagan leads the group of guys who just came in. Tutwiler, Adams, Showen, Degley, Shepard. They are all going to try to put it in 6th gear and see if they can go the distance.
Yes, 6th gear being the key. I think everybody will be up to 6th gear when they get restarted pretty quick. That's certainly going to be a strategy being played out. I don't think you'll see a whole lot of 5th gear driving.
To argue with the Cake song, they're going to go the distance, but they are not going to go for speed. That's something they're not going to be concerned about. Dan Guerin leads them across the start-finish line. He is working lap 66, 36 to go. We know he cannot go the distance from here. Trevor Bissett will also need to come in. Jason Robarge in 3rd, Jake Wright in 4th. The Racing Kangaroo, it's a gray kangaroo, and that is Michael Gray in 5th.
You know, Soup, we haven't talked about Jake Wright much this evening. The reigning champ, the points leader right now. Jake having a pretty quiet race until right now. He's in the Hornets' nest now. It's time to get to some racing. He's like I said, he's been pretty quiet all night, but he's in the mix now.
Yeah, look at this battle going on up here. Guerin leading the way. That's Bissett on the outside, and of course the familiar paint scheme of Robarge, that rainbow-flavored machine. On the inside, boy, I'd like to get a popsicle that was that flavor. Back there now, Bissett on the outside, right on the inside. We talked about Sean just missing him. Jake just having a quiet race until it's money time. Oh boy, and he almost gets into it. from the, who was that there? It was Bissett, I guess.
Was it Bissett? Yeah, it was Bissett. You know, Bill, hey, don't worry about losing your place, buddy. There is so much action going on out here right now. It's so hard to keep track of everything that's going on and who's in what's packed because it changes every lap. Garen making a move to the inside. Robarge, he pulls off that move.
Garen gets that done, Robarge, but he's not done. Robarge, oh boy, Robarge really fighting it. They're going to be side by side across the start-finish line. Give it to Robarge. Nope, give it to Garen for that lap. We'll go 3 wide now. The set out in front. Look at the run that Garen's going to get. As he goes around Robarge, ducking to the inside is no, that's Jake Wright. No, I'm sorry, that's Gray. Sorry, Gray moves up into third. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 cars in this lead battle. But remember, they all need to come in for more fuel. Bissett out in front, Gray in second. Garen trying to make room on the high side. There's nowhere for Garen to go because the leader is up there for Bissett, so Garen has to back out, and that's let Gray on the inside. They touch. Oh, Bissett's able to save it. He brings it back down in front of Robarge. Robarge is okay now. Robarge moves to the inside. A great job of driving from Bissett. We have seen Sean some amazing. Oh, still some trouble up in front. Oh my goodness. That was great. Garen going to the inside and almost got into it. Oh,
I hate to leave that battle, but yeah, there's still this battle for the top 10.
Let's go there. I'll watch up here. You call that one right back.
Yeah, well, Dean Helt leading the pack right now, but he's facing off all kinds of challengers. Getting passed by Ian Adams right now, and Jack Bogan just behind them, and then look at that gaggle of cars that sits back there. Kenneth McCoy and Joe Flanagan, Pete Edwards, Eddie Tutwiler, Tony Showen, Ryan Otis.
You mentioned Joe Flanagan. He's the driver who is in the best shape of all those guys on a different pit strategy. Nope, let me correct myself. Ian Adams. Keep an eye on Ian Adams. He only has 8 laps on this fuel run.
You know, it's a shame that the caution flags have really been, for the most part, unfortunate incidents. One of them we chalked up to the dreaded net code, but man, the racing has been just furious out here at the rate that they're exchanging positions. I know we haven't kept track. We can keep track and tell how many changes for the lead there have been, but how many changes for like 10th place, 11th place, 12th place have there been? I mean, it's just been amazing watching these battles throughout.
Well, up in front now we have. Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, you've got 9 cars up here all fighting for the lead right now.
It was 8. We picked up another one. I believe that might have been Bob Mikas got into the mix. And there's Mikas now making a move in that National Guard car going under Robarge. Hello, I'm here at the party, and he's dancing with the prettiest girl. Man, he's making up some time. Now ducking to the inside is Jake Wright. Boy, he's been quiet like Sean had said. But now that the chips are on the table, let's see what cards he's holding. Brian Yasek up there as well. There's the KGET machine of Jason Galvin looking to pick up his second win today.
Boy, it'll be a great morning in the newsroom tomorrow if Galvin can pick up another win this season.
We're going to go 3 wide, down into 1. On the low side, it's the Kangaroo of Gray. Set on the high side, and Dan Garen decides to back out of it now. He takes it from the high side. He takes it to the low side. Working both sides of the street like a jaywalking Jehovah's Witness, trying to find his way up there. Dan Garen, very aggressive. Go ahead.
Well, we talk about the aggressiveness going on. The only problem is when one of these guys wipes out, there's a lot of cars right behind him. There's a whole other pack And trust me, they'll catch up quick. It's going to be really hard to get out of the way.
I would be surprised if there's a mistake up in front in this 9-car battle that didn't take out more than 3 or 4 of them. They are so close right now, unless the accident came from somebody in the back. And we have our first car pulling off. It's Bob Mikus that's going to call it a day there as he comes in. Well, not call it a day, but he's going to come in for fuel.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's an interesting one. Ron Hacker sits alone in ninth. Now, he's got a pack of cars behind him, all fighting for position, but Ron's done a pretty good job of keeping it out in front. But I think Ron just might have made his call to come in and get some fuel.
And let me correct myself.
He's slowing it down. Here he comes.
Let me just correct myself. Mikus was not in that 9-car battle. It was really only 8-car battle. Mikus was 2 laps down. But here comes some guys coming in. Lurkoff. Let's see. Limkeman. Robarge is in. Sorry. Hacker.
Yeah, everybody wants to know what these boys up front are going to do. See, Ian Adams just made his call.
So now it's a 6-car battle for the lead right now as we've had one drop out. Coming out a lap down, Jason Galvin, who comes out now, and Robarge. They come out in 19th and 20th, 1 lap down. As Tutwiler goes around him, Showen goes around him. Remember, though, I'm telling you to keep an eye on those names that we mentioned. Flanagan.
Tutwiler. Oh, Dean Helt up into the wall. Car got a little loose as Eddie Tutwiler got under him.
We stay green.
Yes, we do. He's able to hang on. Tutwiler now gets passed by Showen. Let's catch the replay of that, of Helt real quick. Oh, Showen gets loose coming off the 2. You see Helt, he runs right up there all the way up to the wall.
Oh, we got to go back. Oh, we got to crash. It's Barber trying to come into the pits, got loose, and then got collected by McCoy. Brings out the yellow. Barber was hustling and trying to come into the pits, and the car got squirrely on him, and then McCoy had nowhere to go.
Well, this is a real fast pit entry. Dave getting through the turn pretty quick there, and the transition to the apron I think was just too fast. Oh man! Just about everybody got by.
That was in the middle of the pit cycle. In fact, Barber was the last car to come in for a pit stop in that lead group.
And that was Kenneth McCoy. I was trying to see who that was that wound up down there in the inside against the wall. We'll go on board with Ken McCoy here real quick. In the number 66. The Toyota coming out of turn 4. Yeah, that's a hard hit. Tough break there for Kenneth McCoy. Blue Bayou Racing.
So now, well, unfortunately, now Held and Tutwiler are coming in. I was hoping they could go the distance. I thought this yellow flag might help them. Looks like all those guys, Flanagan and Bogan, also coming in, so they couldn't do it. Come on, guys. I thought this yellow flag, you could run that thing. Well, there is one guy. Let's see if Pierre Deglay, he's going to stay out.
Yeah, but now Pierre is fighting some damage on the right side of that car. Don't know how well it's handling, but he is staying out. That's going to cycle him around to first place, and his old buddy Dan Guerin will be right behind him when they restart.
Deglay with 19 laps on this stint, 19 and 18 to go. That's 37. Oh, that's a long way. That might be 8 miles too far. Now they're telling Pierre to stay out. It keeps everybody a lap down. Pierre's saying, wait a minute, I'll run my own race, thank you. Robert Blue and yelling for Pierre Digley to stay out.
Yeah, I believe his exact words were, "Come on, be that guy." I think we've seen Pierre run out of fuel before. It might not be a good decision for him.
There's a lot of negotiating going on there with Pierre, and Pierre looks like he's coming in. That's going to make a lot of drivers happy. So that's going to give the lead to Dan Guerin, I believe.
You know, I the pulse of the league coming into the race tonight, I got to be honest, things I felt were a little tense. But we've seen a pretty solid race here tonight, Bill, and to hear the banter on the radio,
it's
nice to hear everybody still has pretty good spirits here.
It was definitely good-natured ribbing going on. But Sean, here we go. These guys have 17 laps to the checkered flag, a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's night, and they're wearing sunglasses. Well, the last part wasn't right, but I had to finish the phrase. So everyone out there saying, hit it.
Could I get 4 whole fried chickens and a couple pieces of white toast while we're at
it? Yeah, you got it.
I can't wait to get this race restarted. We have come to the point of no return. Appeal denied, sir. Let's go. It's time to boogie.
Brandon Limkeman, you're going to see second in line. He is a lap down. Dan Guerin out in front. Dan Guerin jumps, the car pulls in, and Guerin leads them down into turn 1 with 16 laps to go. Jake Wright takes over second, but boy, look at the jump that Guerin has. It's 1.2 seconds back to Wright.
Boy, Brandon Limkeman back there really off pace.
Yosick in the hunt now up front in that blue machine. The set in the number 80 back there in the Marines car in the camouflage colors. The Racing Kangaroo on the high side. Working on Jake Wright. And Sean, see, Jake Wright is pretty amazing.
Boy, he's having to make, they're all making their way around the slow car there.
That's Chris Gutierrez as they work around right now. Has managed to put himself in second.
Well, no, actually, Gutierrez is a lap down in 22nd, Bill.
Oh, my apologies if I misspoke.
Yeah, that's all right. No, he was slow, and they all had to get around him there, and it's pretty tricky. He did a great job of keeping it down at the bottom. Everybody able to get around clean. That is some serious racing going on just up in front of him, Bill.
Okay, keep an eye on Mr. Excitement in that yellow Rockstar machine. It's Dean Helt. He has joined the party in a hurry, working the inside. Looking for somewhere to go, and if he can't find it, maybe through the middle right now. He's got Wright on the low side. He's got Yasick on the high side. And Held trying to be the crowbar to get in between them. Boy, he's got visions of shooting the middle.
A lot of turbulence down there. Ed Tutwiler tries to get a run on Bissett. Bissett shuts the door on him. Ed picked up something on Ed's car earlier. I don't know if we can get it on it now, but I don't know if you're aware of it or not, Bill, but we won a Sports Emmy Award.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
Oh, I love
Ed.
Ed.
On the side of Ed's car. Like I said, I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up because he's moving, but yeah, a little tribute to the team here at GSRC. Myself, you, and Dougie, and
Zahn and Sean, it says on there. I like that one.
Oh, the battle just in front of him. Hell,
Oh, my goodness.
Side by side.
That's Yasik in the blue and black machine, and the Rockstar, the yellow and black machine, have Held on the high side. I'm telling you, Held has the bit between the teeth. He is trying to get up. The problem is there's just nowhere for him to go. Now he's got some clear track ahead of him, but his problem is he's got the point leader, Jake Wright, in front of him. Held's going to take it on the high side.
And here's Yazik running up just behind him. Yazik having to fight off a charge from Trevor Bissett. Bissett working him over, really working him over. Going to look to the inside. Side by side, Jake Wright and Held make contact.
They keep going, and they touch again. Now Held falls back a bit. Guerin with about a second lead. All this fighting that's going on is slowing them down. Now here comes Held again. Look, going on the high side, it's Bissett. He gets one in Held. He's trying to get two with Wright, but he runs out of steam. Wright hugging that inside line, making everybody go high. Oh, and there goes Held into the wall. No caution, and you know what? He didn't touch the wall. Maybe just a little bit, and he's going to bring the car back out. He did all of his spun, and now the caution comes out. Was it because of Held? Did he bring it back out on the track? Maybe that's why.
I'm afraid so. Yeah, back up on the track service, trying to get the car turned around. And, yeah, unfortunately, that'll bring out the caution flag.
And again, he got close to the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray, but I don't think they made contact.
Well, I don't know if it was Michael Gray. Actually, it looks like there might have been contact with Bissett.
That's who I meant. Yeah, it was Bissett.
Yeah, and Held was caught all the way down there on the bottom, and they did look like they made just slight contact. That's going to be the right front of Dean Held catching the left Kardashian there, Trevor Bissett, and that just started that whole melee there for Held, who was having a great run.
Well, the bad news for Held is that's going to put him farther back and probably out of the chance for a win. The good news for everybody else, except maybe our leader, Dan Guerin, is that this thing is going to go green before the end of the race. Guerin, Wright, Bissett, Michael Gray. And if the luck of the J is going to continue, it's going to have to come from Jake Wright. Because we have a D for Dan, we have a T for Trevor, we have an M for Michael, we have a B for Brian, we have an E for Ed. Got to go all the way back to 7th till we get to Wrong Way Joe Flanagan. Let's check up on him. Joe started 6th, currently running 7th. If Flanagan could pick up a couple more spots, he could finish ahead of where he qualifies. He did do that once this season, but I wasn't calling the race, so it doesn't count.
Boy, we talk about movers through this field. Tony Schowen started 35th this evening, finds himself sitting comfortably in 9th. Not a bad run for that young man this evening. It's just about as deep in the field as you can get there, Bill.
They are working right now with 6 go. They are on lap 95.
We're going to have one more lap around with the pace car, I think. The lights are still on. You know,
right.
The All-Star race, the Lionheart All-Star race, was held here at Michigan as we got ready to kick this season off. And that race was won by Corey Connor. But among active drivers, Hassert had the highest finish in 2nd. Well, we know he had some bad luck this evening. Followed by Goke and Galvin. So all 3 drivers have since won races this season. But those three drivers not having a whole lot of luck so far this evening.
Tiger Connors has stepped away from the series. Let's give a shout out to him if you're watching. Tiger, hope to see you back next season. You are exciting. Okay, Sean, I'm gonna put the pressure on you. Call me a winner here. Who do you like?
Ooh. Well, I'll tell you, Yazik has sure had a strong run, and I know he's a favorite bridesmaid, but boy, the 55 has run a very, very patient race, and he might have something for this group before it's all said and done with.
Well, I can't help but pull for Ed Tutwiler back there running in 6th position. What a great finish for him that would be.
And he's got us on the car.
Absolutely.
Zahn and Shaw.
The director can't get an angle on it.
Oh, I think he's getting it now. There we go.
There it is. Tutwiler's best finish this year is 19th. It was 19th at Road America. So, boy, he's having a great race.
Well, back up to our leader, Dan Guerin. He is, he's been fast tonight. Dan's always fast. He doesn't always have the best luck, but tonight, things working out pretty well. But he's got to worry about Jake Wright, Bill.
Pace car peels off like a sunburned albino. Dan Guerin crosses the start-finish line. And he's working lap 97, 4 to go. Poor Dan Guerin, he looks behind him. Who's behind him? It's none other than Jake Wright. Jake Wright being challenged by Trevor Brissett. They run 1, 2, 3. Guerin trying to get a little bit of gap. It's 0.2 of a second back to Wright. That's not far enough.
Bill, a caution flag would end this race.
Wright likes to keep that car down low. He makes it work down low. Boy, they get very close. And really pinning him down is Bissett. Bissett gets a run on the outside. He's trying to duck in. Wright's going to have to go to the outside. There's nowhere to go now. Bissett with a run into second. Looking on the low side now in the number 888 machine. That's the Racing Kangaroo. Now Wright makes a move from the high side. Now down to the low side. And your points leader, Jake Wright.
Oh, Bissett gets loose. He's in the wall.
We think we're going to get a caution. The caution is out. And your leader is Jake Wright. Is iRacing going to give it to Jake?
Yes, sir. I think they certainly will.
He led for 400 yards.
And Dan Guerin on the radio.
You said you stole it from me, Jake.
You stole it from me. Catching the replay there. Well, that's a tough way to end the race there for Bissett. It had a strong run, really, for most of the night, and for it to end that way is a shame. But a lot of excitement up front. It looks like the Jays are going to stay intact, Bill.
Jake Wright does it again. The Jays continue. And another Jay that we'll mention before we go to break. Let's point out Joe Flanagan. 5th place finish, started 6th. Nice job, Joe. You got it going forward today. Ed Tutwiler with his best finish as well in 6th. What we're going to do, we'll take a short break. We'll come back down. Oh, we can't take a break yet. Sorry, this race isn't over yet. Sorry. I had marked it. I was circling, adding up the points.
Bill was getting ready to short us the last lap of the race, folks. No, that's okay. We're going to bring you this last lap. It's the last thing we do, which it will be for this part of the show.
Don't light that cigar yet. Sorry about that.
But what a finish, though, Jake. Like you said, for the last 400 yards, he decides to make his move, and it wound up being the move that's going to get him the victory here tonight.
I don't think he led a lap the whole race.
I don't think he did. I think you're absolutely right. Now, Yazik, I had picked him to win this thing. He was starting to make a run up on the high side. I just don't know if he had enough time to pull something off. If he might have been able to get a little help and get a run on somebody, maybe. But looks like Yazik going to have to settle for a 4th place. But, man, he had a good night. He started where did Yazik start? He started in 28th, Bill. And it's going to come away just shy of the podium this evening. Great run for him.
Tony Schowen finishing in the top 10 as your hard charger, picked up 26 positions. And that's all very nice, but right now our focus goes on once again to Jake Wright. Team nailed it, winning round number 11 in the Lionheart Series IndyCar Series. There's your finishers coming across. Wright, Guerin, and the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray, in a nice formation for pictures. And now the director says that I can go to break, which is what we'll do. This will be a short break, then we'll come in and run down the entire field, do interviews and closing credits. You're watching Global Sim Racing Channel, and we'll be back in just a few. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel's post-race coverage of the Lionheart Racing League, the Indy Series, round number 11 from Michigan. 200 miles of excitement, and it finished with your leader leading the last, we're going to call it 400 yards before the yellow came out. You got to be good, you got to be lucky, and when you're both, that gets you the point lead, and that is Jake Wright. Second place goes to Dan Guerin. Third goes to the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray. Brian Yasek in fourth position. Wrong way, Joe Flanagan does not live up to his nickname as he finishes one position ahead of his qualifying from 6th in 5th spot. How about the best finish so far this season from Ed Tutwiler in 6th? Jason Robarge in 7th. 8th and 9th goes to Jack Bogan and Jason Galvin. And then rounding out the top 10, our hard charger up, what did we say, about several points there? I think it was 36 positions.
35th for Tony Schowen.
Yeah, 35 positions. Yeah, 25 positions up for Tony Schowen. Go ahead, Sean.
All right, and then it's going to be Ryan Otis, the number 95, finishes in 11th tonight. A great run for him as he started in 26th. And then Alfred Shepard finishes 12th. He started 27th. So guys having great runs. Ian Adams, kind of a rough night for him, but he does manage to finish 13th. Robert Bluen, he started 37th, Bill. Finishes 14th. Ron Hacker, 15th. Pete Edwin, 16th. Dean Helt, 17th. He was battling for the lead at one point. Patrick Taylor, 18th. Christian Valerian, still 19th. And Pierre Nightingale, he does finish 20th on the lead lap.
And then another driver who was battling for the lead and ends up hitting blackjack, the last car on the lead lap, Trevor Bassett in 21st. Chris Gutierrez, one lap down in 22nd, followed by Bob Mikas, also one lap down. 24th position goes to Dave Barber, and these guys are all several laps down. Barber's 19, and from here it gets pretty ugly from everybody. Kenneth McCoy and Brandon Linkeman go 25th and 26th. Jonathan Real Thing Goke, his bad luck continues with another 27th finish. The slump goes on. Joe Hassard also in 28th. Tony Lookout Lurcock was trying for a long time to get back on the lead lap, never could do it, and then ran into trouble in 30th. Sean, what do you got there for wrapping out the rest of the field?
All right, let's do it. Ron Henry is going to go for 31st. Vincent Blumenthal, 32nd. Robert O'Brother, 33rd. James Grahula, 34th. Joe Branch, 35th. Dylan Lee, 36th. George Anzaldo, 37th. Matthew Mercer, 38th. And the last car this evening, Chris Stouffer, he's going to finish 39th, 98 laps down. Fortunately, his night really never got started. Got caught up in that first caution flag, Bill.
Got 2 laps in, went 8 miles. And my apologies to Brian Neff. He finished 30th. I left him off the list. Okay, let's see who Sean can talk to. It looks like Sean's going to be able to talk to our race winner today. Let's see if we can bring in Jake Wright.
And there he is, the winner again this season. Jake Wright, you do it on an oval, buddy. What a run.
Thanks. Michigan isn't on my top favorite tracks list, so to be able to get a good result out of this place is nice.
Jake, did I hear you say the other night you hate this place?
You heard correctly. I've never enjoyed pack racing, and Michigan normally is a pack racing type of track, so it's not up there as one of my favorites. Plus, until tonight, I've never really had good results here, but tonight's definitely changed my perspective on the track a little bit, so I like it a little bit more now.
Well, we did see some trouble out there on the track tonight, but overall, pretty fast, tight race. A lot of navigating going on, trying to get yourself towards the front of the field. What's that like, having to play that game of leapfrog with these guys?
It's rewarding and frustrating. You have to be extremely quick with your reactions to just know what's going on, and again, leapfrogging isn't my favorite thing to do in these cars, but this is definitely a track where you have to work together, so it's fun teaming up with people that you normally wouldn't team up with to catch the packs.
And now, Bill and I estimated you led about the last 400 feet, Bill?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, about 400 feet before the yellow came out.
You made that move on Garen. Was he expecting that and thought maybe he had more of a run in him there?
I think he was trying to set me up for a last lap pass, but the caution came out when it did, so I think he laid down the bait and I took it, and I got lucky that the caution came out when it did.
Well, Jake, congratulations. The streak is alive. We have another Jay coming home with a win this evening. You guys talking about that streak much?
Oh yeah, the Jays continue. I believe that's this was round 11, I believe. So there's 11 straight Jays, which is definitely fun to keep alive.
Well, Jake, congratulations. We're gonna see you here in just under 2 weeks. We've got the Indy 500. We'll do 500 miles at the famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Looking forward to that, my friend.
Definitely. Indianapolis is my home track, so anytime I get to race there is fun. Plus, 500-mile races, I mean, you got to have fun in a 500-mile race, so I'm excited, for sure.
I'm sure excited, and the field is scared, sir. They know you'll be there and be there for one thing, and that's another win. So congratulations tonight, my friend. We will see you down the road here. Travel safe to Indy, and we'll check you out over there.
Thank you.
All right, that was Jake Wright. Bill, I believe you have caught up with our buddy Joe Flanagan.
That's right. It would be wrong if I didn't do this interview for the hard time I've been giving them all race. Mr. Flanagan, congratulations. The nickname dies tonight.
You don't know how happy that makes me.
I'll have to come up with a new one. Nice race. Let's talk about your decision to come in there and pit at the end. You made that the second to the last pit stop. There was no way to get there from like 37 out, huh?
Well, the first half of the race I was just trying to follow Jake because I figured he'd finish good, and if I could stick with him, I'd finish good. But then that caution came out, and I wasn't sure if I had made contact or not, and I wanted to go in and get my front wing checked out, and I also am not real good at math, so I didn't know if I'd be able to finish or not, but I needed to get that wing checked out either way, so I went in and pitted, and then I thought it actually worked out better than it did. I thought I was going to come out in about 4th, but I ended up restarting 9th.
Well, you know, you get really an unfair nickname because it's not so much that your racing is exceptionally poor or anything like that. You are just a really good qualifier. Why are you so good at putting in those solo lap times?
I really don't know. I just hold the wheel steady, you know, to try to stay as low as I can and keep the wheel as smooth as I can, and it works out.
Are you good for the Indy race coming up on the Sunday?
Heck no. That's probably my least favorite track. I mean, I wasn't planning on doing well at Michigan either. These big tracks aren't my strong suit. But you never know. You know, with the way these cars are, anybody could pull one out. And my name starts with a J, so you never know.
That's right. I think you certainly are eligible for the win. Well, we'll get you out of this. There's my question for every time we get a new interview in here. I need to know your favorite Disney princess. Come on, you got to be ready for this one. You know it's coming.
Well, I could say Princess Leia now.
Okay.
Good point.
That is
good point. Witty response. Gotta love that.
There you have it. Nothing worse than a funny interviewer. Joe Flanagan, your 5th place winner today. Sean, who you got?
Caught up with Big Dan Garen. Dan, what a night, buddy. What a race here at Michigan.
Oh, man. I gave it away to try to set Jake up, and it backfired on me.
You really were. You were setting up for that last lap pass, weren't you?
Yeah, I really did not want to see that one other caution come out. I had a 2.5 lead. I was letting them battle. I was telling Michael, just keep them back there. Just let me get away from you guys, and caution flies.
Well, you know, that is a tough break for you, but you got to be happy with the performance. The team nailed it this evening. You guys finished both on the podium. Great points night for the team. Great points night for the drivers. You know, you managed to keep the car up front all night. That's a tough thing to do with the talent just so deep through this field. I thought Yazik had a run for you guys there at the end, but he ran out of laps.
Yeah, he was definitely worrying me. I saw him poke his nose, and Dave was telling me he's looking. I'm like, well, if he wants, he can take it, but you know, I just want to make sure I finish this race. But the rest of the time, yeah, as you said, it's a stacked field every week. I marked this one on my calendar because I knew I had a good shot at it. And with the team, Michael, excellent run. Ian finishing the race. I think he was, 13th. He was up there with me. We were trying to get away from everybody. And, yeah, it's just a great night overall.
Well, Dan, congratulations, my friend. We head to Indy next, 500 miles. Are you ready?
I am not ready. Indy is not one I like to go to. I struggle always there. I always end up tapping the wall with that dreaded arrow push, and then I just finish the race. I don't think I've had a top 10 there, but if I can real quick, I'm going to a quick shout out to everybody here. My new sponsor, Jeff Mueller at T&J Sandblasting on Mount Pleasant, Iowa, coming aboard here now for the rest of the season. This is the second race, so I hope I did him proud. Of course, my wife, and then my daughter turned 5 years old today. Happy birthday, sweetheart. And then, of course, my great team.
Well, congratulations again to you, Dan. It was a great effort tonight, and hey, you'll get him next time, buddy.
I got to mark something on the calendar now to focus on, so we'll try to get him.
Well, we'll see you over at Indy here in just under a couple of weeks. Take care, buddy. Travel safe. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Sean. See you.
All right, Bill. You're going to talk to Trevor Bissett real quick. I know you wanted to catch up with him and try and find out what happened there at the end.
Yeah, you might want to wonder why we want to talk to a driver who finished 21st. Well, that's because on lap 98, he was in the run for the lead, had a real chance to win this, then got caught up with Michael Gray. Oh, man, nice run. You almost had it, Trevor.
Thank you, Sue. It was just 3 wide, and I felt it in my wheel, and my spotter's saying it looked like I got loose, and like, no, I could feel it in my wheel that I got hit, and we went and looked at it, and the dreadful net code.
Yeah, it was net code. Well, you had a great race anyway. Boy, you were up there. Had a chance for your best finish of the season. Let's put this one behind us. Let's talk about Indy. How do you feel about that one on those flat corners?
I feel pretty good about it, actually. I felt good about this race. I'm disappointed, but I'm still happy. I ran up with the guys, and I feel like I can do it at Indy. I hear a lot of guys are not very confident with it, so I'm going to go in there confident and see how that turns out.
Do you have time to put in any practice, much practice before then?
A few of us are going to Iowa this weekend to watch the Indy race, and after that, I'm actually on vacation, so I put a lot of time into this after we get the setup fixed.
Well, I just thought I'd get you in here real quick and congratulate you on putting on a good show in that Marines car. Why do you race the Marines machine?
They call me Sergeant Bissett for a reason. I'm in the Marine Corps.
Oh, well, thank you for your service. Are you active?
I am, yes, sir.
Where are you located?
I'm in St. Louis right now. I work at a reservist station, active duty.
Well, thank you for your service, and thank you for putting on a good show today. Sorry, you did finish on the lead lap, but it was 21st. Let's go get him at Indy.
It was a fun one.
Trevor Bissett had a real chance at the win today, boys. Sean, one last interview?
I want to talk to my buddy Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Crackers.
Well, bud, you got yourself to the podium tonight. How you feeling?
I feel fantastic. After that tough race, especially, where did I start? P20? P19, I think? I can't remember now.
Yeah, 19th. Yes, sir.
I'm just tired. Absolutely tired.
Well, tired for more reasons than one, I'm sure. What time is it where you're at right now, Michael?
Oh, it's 2:30 somewhere.
Time for a drink, yeah.
Somewhere on the other side of the world right now. But yeah, Michael, great run for you tonight. Great run for the team. We were just talking with Dan about that a moment ago. Got to be happy with this performance when team nailed it tonight.
Yeah, to be fair, I would say that we had a good performance, but I'll say we had a medium performance overview. I mean, John had a good race, and he got taken out by, I'm not sure what happened, in P2 or P1, and losing it I can't remember what position. I'm sorry. And he just loses it, but Ventnor comes back in. I'm not sure now. But with me and Dan, second and third, I feel like we could have broken the famous J streak at the end of the race, but that final caution just hit the nail in the coffin.
Well, Mike, thanks for taking a moment to come in and chat with us. Congratulations on hitting the podium this evening. Great run for you. We enjoyed watching you out there. We're going to enjoy seeing you over at Indy. Wish you the best there, sir.
Oh, thank you. I love Indy, and it's hopefully going to be a good one. I just need to step up my qualifying game.
Yeah, and that'll certainly be important there. And you got a lot of time to practice, so that'll be good. I'm sure I'll see you on the track.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I won't give you any bump drafting down the front stretch. I'm promise you.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right, that was Michael Gray, driver of the 888 Racing Kangaroo. Gets a great run tonight. Comes all the way from 19th to finish on the podium, Soup. And what a great race it was, sir.
And thanks for all the drivers came in, not just the podium drivers, but also Michael. Also Joe Flanagan showed up for us there. And, of course, we also talked to our 21st finisher of Trevor Bissett. Nice of him to come in. You're always welcome to show up. I'd like to apologize to Jake Wright. I said it was Team Nailed It. Actually, it isn't. It's Jake Wright is with No Name Racing, and that's right, Sean. Yeah, that's right. So they continue to do well. All right, let's wrap this thing up. But everyone, pay attention now, because this is what makes this important. Thanks to the First Medical Equipment. They offer durable medical equipment, sales, rental, and services. Also, home modifications and stair lifts and ramps, power wheelchairs and scooters, lift chairs, CPAP, oxygen. You name it, they got it. They service the southeast corner of Iowa and the surrounding counties. For more details, visit firstmedicalequipment.com. Thanks to Pete Edwins for sponsoring this broadcast. Always like those drivers who help bring this to you all. Thanks to our new sponsor, Sim Nation. Hey, they're on Facebook, and they are dedicated to all forms of sim entertainment, such as online sim racing, flight simulators, woohoo, and more. Remember, Sim Nation is the place to get all the latest and greatest media reviews and content for all your simulators, all in one place. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now. I don't know what any of it does, but Amjad uses it and it makes it work just wonderfully. The original music that you heard today, you know who it's from. It's Eric Eckelum and Casey Lalonde. How do you get their music? Well, you follow the little instructions that are on the screen there. Get and download some of their digital music. Thanks to my mic mate, Sean Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yam, and Dougie Beard for his camera locations. If you'd like to find out more about Jazz RC, your best bet, of course, is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at where, Sean? GSR Channel.
GSR Channel.
You never pay attention. I asked the other people to pay attention, and even when... All right, nobody's listening to this. Facebook Global Sim Racing Channel. The Lionheart League returns, they tell me, in 2 weeks. Sunday, July 17th, for a special visit to Indiana and the Lionheart Indianapolis 500. Remember, that's Sunday. This is usually on a Wednesday, so mark it on your calendars. We're going to be here Sunday. I'm going to be there. Sean's going to be there. Amjad's going to be there, and we hope you're there too. For details about all the upcoming races, go to GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. And now, to honor our last guest, the Racing Kangaroo, and now that all the housekeeping is out of the way, it's time for us to go have fun storming the Kessel. So until next time, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.